the digging process. Okay, so you've chosen which way you're going to dig your site. You've chosen that you're going to do 2 1x1s, and you're going to do an STP, and you're going to do a couple augers, and maybe you're even going to trench. However you're going to do this digging, you have to take a step-by-step approach on how to actually get the dirt out. So how are you going to do that? First, you have to think, are you going to do a more horizontal excavation or a more vertical excavation? And I know, that's the first thing you think when somebody says, hey, how are you going to dig that hole? You're like, oh, I'm going to do more of a horizontal situation. I know, you're like, what? Horizontal, what? Okay, check it out. A horizontal dig means it's going as the horizon goes, right? It means it's really wide, but pretty shallow. So you're digging like a 5 by 5 meter pit, but it's only 3 centimeters deep. So wide, but shallow, right? That is a horizontal excavation. You're gonna do something like that. Let's say you're working at a village site, right? And there's the remains of 3 house floors throughout the area. You're gonna maybe open up a wide patch over here and a wide patch over here, so you can kind of compare and contrast, right? A horizontal excavation. On the flip side, there's a vertical excavation. A vertical excavation is a fairly small hole, but it's really deep. Just from what I've said, a horizontal excavation versus a vertical excavation, what do you think you get from each? Right? For a vertical excavation, you get a snapshot, right? A moment in time. So if you dig everything down to a certain level and sort of uncover it like this, maybe you're seeing what a typical day was like 1,000 years ago, right? You're not worried about hundreds upon hundreds of years of change over time. This is just a snapshot, right? A horizontal excavation, really good for that kind of thing. On the flip side, and I'm guessing you already figured this one out, a vertical excavation is going to give you change through time. You're going to get maybe thousands of years of change as you go. So that's going to be deep, but again, not that big. And of course, this is going to be really not shocking that you pick vertical versus horizontal based on your research design, right? What you're looking for, what you need. Do you need change over time? Do you need a snapshot? Do you need a day in the life? Do you need a bit of both? Right? So sometimes maybe you'll do one like this and one like this to give you some variety. That's fine. So you're going to pick on your project, are you more horizontal or more vertical in your approach? Now, as you dig down, whether it's shallow or deep, you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna progress by levels. We have levels in archaeology. Level 1's at the top, level 2's right below it, and then you just keep counting as you go. Now, that part's easy. I think we all get that. But the organization of it can be different. There's 2 ways to organize your actual levels, to do your levels. The first way is called natural levels. What these are is you follow the stratigraphy in the ground, the natural layers of the ground. Level 1 would be the grayish area at the top, the top with the gray soil. And then you're gonna dig through that. Doesn't matter how deep it is until you get to level 2. Level 2 is gonna be, oh, hey, the soil's changing to a red color. That would be level 2, and you're gonna mark it. You're gonna use one piece of paperwork per level. That's how archaeology works. So level 1, you have your paperwork, and you're gonna fill it in, and at the bottom of level 1, you're gonna take a photo, right? You're gonna do a drawing, and all your artifacts are gonna be organized by level as well. So this is really important, this level thing. If you do natural levels, you're just following the natural layers of the earth, the natural stratigraphy. And honestly, that's the preferred way. If you have a choice, natural's the way to go. But sometimes you got no choice. So what do? The other way is arbitrary levels. Arbitrary levels are ones where you pick the depth. A really common arbitrary level in archaeology is 10 centimeters. You do 10 centimeters at a time. And 10 centimeters is about that. So you dig 10 centimeters at a time. 0 to 10 centimeters, that's level 1. 10 to 20, that's level 2, and so on. You might do that. You might ask, easy question like, why would you ever do that? Why don't you just follow natural levels? Oh, I don't know. Why would you do that? Think about it. It's going to be when the stratigraphy is ruined for some reason. You know, maybe it's just all churned up. Maybe there's a ton of gophers in your area. Gophers are classic stratigraphy ruiners, right? There are other stratigraphy ruiners. Previous construction. People built something there 50 years ago and it's all like tossed up and messed up. Looting. Somebody's looted there. They've dug holes when they weren't supposed to, and it's just a whole huge mess. So you can't follow the stratigraphy of the ground. You just go, hey guys, we're just gonna go 10 centimeters at a time. Fill out our paperwork for each level, take the photo at the bottom, and organize our artifacts based on that. So those are your choices. I've worked in both. Here in California, a lot of times they are actually arbitrary because the shell middens might be all messed up from the things I've just listed. In Belize, in the Maya world, it's much more often natural levels. So they both work. Now, how deep do you dig? As you go down, level by level, you're filling out what each level is like. You're listing what artifacts you find at each level. When do you stop? There's really 2 times when you stop. Time number 1, you run out of money and time. That happens more often than you think, right? You're like, hey man, the rainy season's here, we're packing up. So you're done. The better way to stop, the professional way to stop, if everything works out, is you stop when you reach sterile. The sterile layer is where you're done. What does sterile mean? Sterile means there's nothing cultural in it anymore. It means there's no more artifacts in it. There's no more human burials in it. There's nothing that human beings made or had any contact with in that layer anymore. It's human free. That is the sterile layer. A lot of times it's pretty obvious. You'll be digging through dirt of sort of different colors. Oh, this is kind of grayish. Oh, this is kind of dark brownish. And then it's sand, right? That's really obvious. Like, okay, sand layer. That is sterile. And you're done. So you have this, really, usually this binder of paperwork. Each piece of paper is one level, right? Level 1, level 2, level 3, all there in a binder. You've stopped at the sterile level. You're finished with your unit, with your excavation. Now what? What do? You're not done. You backfill it. What? You've just spent weeks digging this thing, all measuring it, all perfect. You want me to fill it in, Kinkella? Well, come on, man. Yes, I do. You know why I want you to fill it in? So other people don't fall in it. It's true. A big square hole in the middle of nowhere can be a bit of a danger. And not just people can fall in there. Cows can fall in there. I know times where this has happened. A snake can fall in there. I know this because I jumped into a unit once with a snake in it. And also, you want to fill it back in because whatever you've uncovered, let's say you've dug down and you've actually found a bit of a Maya pyramid, like you found part of a wall or something like that. As soon as you uncover it to the elements, that thing is going to just start to rot. The best protection, the best preservation for this stuff is for it to be in its own dirt. we have to think it's already been in that dirt for 1,000 years, right? It's reached kind of chemical neutrality in that world. So that's what's going to keep it the best, is to fill the hole back in. Uncovering sites and leaving them uncovered, let's say you want to uncover a Maya pyramid and show it off for tourism or something. That is one of the most difficult things on the structure itself. It will literally start to melt, start to just fall apart. So unless you're really ready to leave something open the whole time, the easy, common thing to do at the end of your excavation is to fill it all back in.